Hello everyone, Swezi here, back with another video. So in this video, I want to share tips of what you should do the moment you land here in the UK. Now, I always share tips here to say, oh, this is how you can get a job here in the UK, or this is what you should do for you to land a job in the UK. Now, let's suppose that you've been able to get the job. What should you do the moment you land in the UK? Now, I've been staying in the UK for nearly 2 years now, and I know at least a few things that I wish I had done the moment I'd just landed. Now, as a big brother, I'm like, you know what, let me share a few tips with my people here and be like, you know what, the moment you land, make sure you do these things. Now, let me not waste much of your time. Let me go right into them. Now, the first one is make sure you register with the GP within your area or within your vicinity. Now, let me put it this way. When you're applying for a visa to come to the UK, you have to pay the IHS fee. Now, this one is for you to be able to have access to healthcare services when you are living or staying in the UK, right? So, the moment you come, always make sure that in the first, maybe I'd say even the first week or second week, look for a GP practice. Now, what I mean by that is general practitioners facility within your area. Now, you can just check using your postcode. You check, and then once you find one, go and register. Now, what this means is it registers people that stay within a certain area that they can be able to go get their healthcare services from that practice. So you have to make sure that you get to register with the practice the moment you come. Now, as you know, there are big hospitals here, but for the most part, you'll be able to get your healthcare services within these practices. So this is the most important part. You know, you have to put your health first. Make sure you always register with a GP the moment you land. Now, that's the first point. Now, the second one, which is an important one, is to do with money. Now, what about money should you do when you land in the UK? I'll say one thing. Learn as much as you can to do with money in terms of investments, in terms of savings, in terms of bills, in terms of costs, in terms of almost everything to do with money. Make sure you learn everything. I mean, you can't finish everything, but make sure you learn as much as you can. Now, why I'm saying this is because sometimes when you land in the UK, you start to think like, oh, you know what, I'll just be living the way I was living back home. Now you get to realize that things are different here. For example, you have to be paying council tax. After you have paid your rent, you also have to pay council tax, which, like in some other countries, they don't do. So you may find that, oh, like, why should I even be paying this? So you have to get to understand almost everything to do with money. Not everything, as I said, but let me just say, get to understand maybe 80% of the economic landscape of UK. How does the money flow? Where does the money go? And things like those, right? So make sure you I would say, learn as much as you can. Learn as much as you can, right? So that's the second thing that you should do. Now, the third thing that you should do, which is also important, is to get a driving license. Now, why should you do this? I would say you should get a driving license for you to have a UK ID. Now, it is very important because when you're applying for other things here within the UK, they may say, oh, you're looking for an ID. When you give your, let's say, your national ID from your home country, they may not allow it. They may look for something that is from the UK. So a driving license is something that you can easily get. When I say easily get, I mean, firstly, you can go get the provisional license. You can go online and check. It's easy to get a provisional license. Or maybe you can even start with just having a provisional license before you go for the actual driver's license, because that one you have to go do a test, or you have to do things like those. But then just make sure you have a UK ID, and the license will be the easiest one to get, because it will come in handy when you are doing some other applications and things like those, right? So make sure you get yourself a driver's license. Now, even if you're planning to buy a car maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, still get the provisional license. You should still have it for you to have an ID, right? If you can, if possible, you can go on and get the full-on driving license. That means you have to go do the theory test. You have to do. I've done a video on how you can pass the theory test. Just check it. I think I'll post it here. You'll be able to find a video on how you can be able to pass the theory test for driving. But also after that, you'll be able to do the practical one. I've also done a video for that one. You can go check it here. So make sure you get a driving license for you to have a UK ID. So that's point number 3. Now, let me go to point number 4. If possible, make sure you register to get on the electoral register, or to get on the electoral roll. Now, this is very important because, one, you'll be able to vote when the time to vote comes. That's the most important part. It's like you'll be exercising your right to vote. Now, the second point, which is also important, is that getting on the electoral register improves your credit ratings or your credit score, right? So let me put it this way. Sometimes it's hard to explain it, but the thing is, lending institutions and credit facility institutions, when they see your name on the electoral roll, they know that, okay, this is a verified identity and this is a verified address, so this is legit. So that can improve your credit score. Another thing that can also happen is that you can be able to get loans, or you can be able to have access to loan facilities easily because you are on this electoral register. So make sure that you get yourself registered on this roll. Another thing that can happen is that you can be called for jury services. Yes, your name can be randomly selected for you to go and do jury services. So it's very important for you to have yourself registered on the electoral register. So make sure you do this. You can do this online. You can just check registering to be on the electoral register in the UK. You easily find that and you can be able to register. I think ever since I came, I did that in the first week or so. No, I think I did it after 2 months, mainly because elections were about to happen. So they sent me a letter to say you need to register if you have to vote. So it was much easier for me to do that. So I was able to register. So make sure you register the moment you get in the UK. Now, the last point, which is another important one, is do not rush to buy a car. Now, let me put it this way. A car has a lot of expenses. You have fuel, you have MOT, you have road tax, you have maintenance and servicing. A lot of money goes into a car. So what I'll say is, if you have just arrived in the UK, and mainly if you are staying in big cities, let's say Manchester, Glasgow, Edinburgh, you're staying in big cities, I'll say make the most of public transport. Make the most of public transport. It will take you anywhere, right? You have trams, you have tubes, you have whatever mode of transport you want, you'll be able to find it, right? So make sure you don't rush to buy a car. Now, I'm saying that because for the first year, most of the times when you come to the UK, you're trying to stabilize yourself, or you are trying to get your footing. So it doesn't make financial sense to get yourself a car like as in the first, let's say 2 or 3 months, because you can easily get it because they're very cheap cars that you can be able to find maybe for 2,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. You can easily find that. But the thing is, check if you really need a car. Now, let me put it this way. If you stay in other cities, the public transport may not be that very well connected to get to your workplace, right? So in such situations, I would say maybe you can be able to get a car. And my advice is, if possible, make sure you get a car on cash. Now, what I mean by that is save up to, let's say, maybe 5,000 or 6,000, then get the car on cash instead of you getting it on finance. Because as I said, it will take a lot on you. So you can think of you should be paying on a monthly basis, financing the car. Then after that, you should also do the servicing. You should also do, it's just a lot. So if possible, get it on cash, right? So this will help you save money, or just for you to kind of like get your financial footing stable, right? So these are the things that I thought I'd share with you. Just the 5 things that you may want to do the moment you land in the UK. Likely I've missed a few things. So if you have been in the UK for maybe a long time, or maybe you just came last week and you're watching this video and you found out that, okay, this is also important, you may want to put it in the comment section below, because it may help someone who watches this video or someone who reads the comments in this video. I hope you do find this video helpful. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.